President Trump vows to make America great in space again. Today, he signed an executive order to make it easier for American companies, private companies, to build and launch more commercial spacecraft. A huge step forward in opening up the frontier of space to private industry. The White House wants to ensure the U.S. maintains what they call an edge over China and Russia in their space efforts. China especially is spending huge on this. Here on Earth, though, the administration, the FAA in particular, is facing serious questions about the safety of air travel in the United States. Those questions center on the extreme shortage of air traffic controllers. We've been talking about this for a long time. There are 3,000 air traffic controllers needed right now in towers across America. The man in charge of that effort is Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. Thank you. Privatization, always a great way to have competition. I know that's what the president wants to do in space. You also are the acting director of NASA. Is privatization or partial privatization the way to fix the FAA and air traffic control as well?
So in regard to the FAA, no, I would say not with air traffic controllers, because this was debated back in, I think, 2018, 2019. It failed. So, Leland, I could spend my time the next 3.5 years fighting over privatization. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is put every resource into training up more air traffic controllers to get them certified in their airspace in which they're going to work, but also getting those experienced controllers to stay on the job, paying them a little more to not retire and continue to work for us. And again, if I engage in that fight, nothing's ever going to change. And I need to change this quickly so I get more air traffic controllers in the cabs helping control aircraft throughout the airspace.
All right, fair enough, and pragmatic as well, always appreciated. President Trump, after the crash at Reagan, right in the beginning of the administration, he said that part of the problem with the FAA was that for the past 4 years, DEI was at the center of everything that they had done under the Biden administration. Take a listen.
They put a big push to put diversity into the FAA's program. It doesn't matter what they look like, how they speak, who they are. It matters intellect, talent.
Are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have.
I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense.
All right, in the New York Post, Sean Duffy blasts predecessor Pete Buttigieg for changing FAA Academy testing protocols on Pod Force 1. Previously, candidates who scored above 85% on air traffic skills assessment exam were considered best qualified, but that top tier was removed under Buttigieg's watch. Documents shared with the Post revealed it was replaced with a two-tier system of well qualified for scores between 80 and 100 and qualified 70 to 79.9. Is this proof that President Trump was right, that part of the shortage, which almost certainly contributed to the crash, was caused by DEI?
So the president's right that we want the best and the brightest to be our air traffic controllers. And so to go back to what the last administration had done, again, they had this one tier 80 to 100%. Well, they had, that standard was changed, right? They lowered the standard and put everyone in this one category. What we've done is said, listen, if you're 90 to 100%, you're best qualified. If you're 80 to 89%, you are well qualified. And Leland, what that allows us to do is on those entrance exams, we get the kids that got an 89% or 99%, 98% on their tests. They get into the academy first over the person that got 82%. We have a 35% washout rate at the academy. So I'm in the business of getting the best minds, the best people, the best scores in the academy first, ahead of the person that got 75 or 82%. And
right.
If we do that, I think we can reduce that washout rate from 35% maybe down to 25%.
Look, no arguments here as somebody who used to fly, pilot myself. Air traffic controllers are vital, number one. And number two, you want people who are really good at their job in the tower. So no argument there. But I think it's an important point. Can we link that changing in test scores, which appears to have been done to allow for more minorities in these classes, can we link that to the understaffing of towers and control centers right now?
Well, we can say that because the last administration didn't stand the school up quickly enough during COVID, that we lost, multiple classes of new controllers that would be working in the airspace right now. But something different, Leland. The last administration, there were 84 close calls between helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft in the D.C. airspace, right? And they did nothing. Instead of focusing on that issue and that danger, they were focusing on changing the name from cockpit to flight deck or airman to aeronaut. They were focused on DEI and being politically correct as opposed to keeping people safe. And so this administration, we care about safety and getting I don't care what you are. I don't care your race, your religion, your sex. If you're the best and the brightest, we want you controlling our skies because, Leland, you fly, your family flies, your viewers fly. Republicans and Democrats use the airspace. I want the best people as your pilot and as your traffic controller.
No arguments. In the latest Build Back Better bill, and you've been going around talking about this, you were in Duluth, Minnesota recently. The FAA asked for $30 billion to upgrade America's air traffic control systems. And look, a lot of this technology is still from the 1960s. It was remarkable when I was flying that it was so old, and now it's even older. But you only got $12 billion out of the 30. How can you say to the American people, air travel is safe, air travel is going to be safe, when you have less than half the money you say you need to bring the FAA control centers up to standards?
Yeah, well, it is safe, Leland. We have the safest airspace in the world, though we're using old technology. And as we have more drones and these eVTOLs, which are the Ubers in the air, it's going to become more complicated. And so we need the new system. Yeah. $12.5 billion from the One Big Beautiful Bill is historic. That kind of money has never been given to the FAA. We're going to have all new telecom, get rid of copper, build fiber networks for the communication. We're going to have new radar, new radios, new voice switches. We're going to build a common automation platform. It's going to be like your iPhone 16 that you can deploy all kinds of apps off of as technology changes. And then the rest of the money, we have bricks and mortar infrastructure in the en route centers and the TRACONs and the towers that are really old. We got to be able to rebuild that stuff, as well as giving us sensors and technology on our runways to make sure we avoid those near misses on runways. So again, we have a great set of dollars to start, but we got to come back for more. And I think the Congress, again, Democrat and Republican, support this effort. They're going to give us the rest of the cash, which is important to finish the job.
Fair enough. Real quick in the last answer, because as a former TV man yourself, you know when you get the word that you're on the clock, but this is important. Big delays happen every summer because of weather and now because of air traffic control staffing. I'm thinking of especially along the East Coast, down in Florida. How long till Americans don't have to hear your flight's delayed because there's not enough control tower staff?
Well, my hope is in the next year, there's some modification we're going to do with the air traffic controller workforce, and we're going to bring more controllers online. So my hope is in the next year, we're going to see market improvements as you come into next summer within the airspace. But again, Leland, this takes time. I can't snap fingers and train up controllers in new airspaces. It doesn't work that way. And so I need some grace from the American people to know that I'm doing it. But my hope is by next summer, you'll see some significant changes. Probably not perfect, but you're going to see next summer better even than this summer.